Gunnimoto, thanks for joining me today. Hey friends, Kurt here with Gunnimoto. Thanks for joining me today. I'm doing a late season ride and I don't know how many of these I'll get in before the snow just shuts down the riding, but we had a couple of days of snow and then a day of sunshine, and then today it's in the upper 50s and I'm gonna go for a ride in lower elevations, and I'm hoping that the snow's melted off the roads there. But it's gonna be a small fun little ride to Hartman Rocks. Now, brief history, Hartman Rocks is best known for its just epic mountain biking. It's some of the best mountain biking in the world. And that's a lot of single track. There's about 50 miles of it there. And I'm not gonna be doing the single track. And the reason is because I love mountain biking and I like to leave those trails to the mountain bikes, but most of those trails are open to motorcycles. Not all of them, but most of them, so you can have a lot of fun there. But it's just because there's so many bikers there, I tend to stick to the roads. And that's gonna be a lot of fun too. We're gonna do a tour of Hartman Rocks so you can see some of the unique and amazing beauty that's up there. It's high scrub desert with views into beautiful snow-covered peaks. And it's a lot of fun riding. Not a big ride, and I only have a couple of hours, so we're gonna keep it pretty tight. But even so, I'm going places riding alone where there may not be a lot of other people. So I'm taking my full winter gear. I'm also taking food and water and emergency supplies so that if I had to, I could weather the night. And hopefully that won't happen. But anyway, today's ride is gonna be Hartman Rocks. Should be a ton of fun. Thanks for joining me. On the north edge of Gunnison's downtown here. We're going to go through the, I don't know, 4 blocks maybe of downtown, and we're going to hang a right on Highway 50. We're going to go out to the edge of town, and just on the edge of town we turn left just before we get to the Gunnison River. We go around the airport and then down a little lane to Hartman Rocks. Going to take a little dog leg to the right here to avoid that stack up of traffic. Small town post office on the right. Today is November 8th, which might ring a bell with you. It is the second Tuesday of November, so everyone is voting today. So we have the city and county buildings on the right and on the left. I already voted. Joe Biden is president right now. The Democrats have control of the House and the Senate on the federal level. And everyone's expecting that that imbalance is going to result in the Republicans taking probably both the House and the Senate. Seems like it's pretty common. People just don't like the president and the legislator to all be the same party. It just takes away from some of the accountability. But we'll find out. So now we're leaving Highway 50. By the way, there is an underpass for bicycles and pedestrians, so you don't have to cross the highway. So if you're on a bicycle out here, don't risk your life. underpass. There's the Gunnison River. There's a park on the other side of the river there for picnics and what have you, and you can see the small rapid. That's a man-made feature, and there are a couple of them here. It's the Gunnison Water Park, and people come out here and surf their surfboards, believe it or not, on these waves. But they also come out and surf their kayaks. Kind of fun. Like I mentioned in the intro, this is some of the best mountain biking in the world. The parking lot's fairly full. I guess everyone had the same idea. Get another ride in before the snow shuts us down. The front part of this is actually owned by the city of Gunnison. And then once you get to the top, it's BLM land. But the city makes a nice park out of the front. And in the front part, motorcycles are not allowed. It's just bicycles, hikers, that kind of stuff. But you're not missing much. It's really fun for motorcycles, but it's a limited area. So we're going to stay on the road here to the top where it turns into BLM land. We're going up what they call Kill Hill. The reason is because it's so hard to bike up. But on the motorcycle, it's just rough. A passenger vehicle can go up this hill super steep, but it always has extremely bad washboard and exaggerated washboard for some reason, big humps. So you want to take it easy. Before we go into Hartman Rocks, I'm going to turn on a tiny little four-wheel drive road that only goes a couple hundred yards maybe, but it takes us to the top of the hill here with beautiful views. So I want to show you this. That's it, as far as the road goes. I know things look far away on the GoPro, but maybe I'll zoom in here. What we're looking at is Mount Carbon, Mount Emmons. We're looking at the Anthracites, Whetstone, Red Mountain, Flat Top. There's Tenderfoot Mountain, which is also known as W Mountain, and in between is Signal, where we did a ride the other day, so you probably have already seen the Signal ride. If we look further over here, we're looking into the Sawatch Range, Mount Ouray, and the White Peaks, the other side of Tenderfoot there, that's Fossil Ridge. So now that we have our bearings, let's go have some fun. So on our route today through Hartman's, I'm going to take you close to the rock formations that gave Hartman's its name. And then once we get to the backside of Hartman's, we're going to turn to the west. And I'm going to drive us on Power Line, which is the name of the road there. We're going to go where there's a quarry, some more beautiful rock formations, and a really beautiful, longer mountain bike trail called Aberdeen. Really, really great area. It's going to be beautiful on the motorcycle too. And a little bit past Aberdeen, we'll be leaving Hartman Rocks and heading up a big mesa which actually is over Blue Mesa Reservoir. So here are the rocks that Hartman Rocks is named after. It's really popular for people to camp in around these rocks and scramble around on them. But they're also, boy, I don't know how many, probably 100 bolted climbing routes on these rocks. So if you're a rock climber, it's a fun place to climb. They're not super tall, but you can get some good 7,500 foot climbs. And there's a lot of variety. On an earlier video, I mentioned that I always loved the trees. I'm going to stop here and show you some of these rocks. But I always loved the trees, and when I moved to Colorado, I really wanted to find the trees. I have not seen a three-wheeler in years. That's crazy. So you can see the rocks. There's some good climbing right there. But when we moved to Gunnison, then the trees are just in the river valleys and up on the mountains surrounding Gunnison. Gunnison itself is in this high arid, semi-arid desert area. And so there's a lot of sagebrush, although all the river bottoms are full of ranch land, beautiful green pastures, irrigated, lots of cattle. Hang a left so we can stay closer to the rocks. Both of these roads will end up taking us where we're going to go. This is going to be a quick little out and back, I think, just to show you this high spot. Yeah, this part of Hartman Rocks is reminiscent of Moab or parts of Arizona, but it's right here in Gunnison, Colorado. As you can see, campsites. I believe the camping is free throughout, but you have to stay in designated camping areas. So now we're looking back across the eastern side of Gunnison, which is Western Colorado University, WCU. Again, there's Fossil Ridge and the Sawatch Range. There is a small section of these rocks that is designated for rock crawlers. Modified four-wheel drives, 4x4s who like to try to go up rocks that will tumble you. I don't know much about that because I don't do that, but if that's your hobby, look up the information because I don't know much more about it than what I just said. The trail going through there, I'm not sure if that is open to motorcycles or not. You'd have to get to the beginning of it to see, but the trail is ring dike, I believe. Takes you on the eastern edge of Hartman's, and it's a black for mountain bikes. Extremely difficult trail. Might be double black. I did do it once, but I'll confess, it was so difficult that I had to walk a lot of it. Not because it was technical, but because it was steep. Just couldn't pedal anything that went straight up, you know. This rock formation straight in front of us is called Beginner Slab. It's a good place to top rope and teach someone the ropes, literally. But I was saying, when I moved to Colorado, I was looking for the trees. But when we moved to Gunnison, and I started seeing how the light played off of the sagebrush and off of these rocks, how gorgeous this mountain desert can be, especially as the weather rolls in. Man, I believe that this rock is called Needle Rock, and you can see it's bolted. Maybe I can see it. It has another name, which I won't repeat here, but I'll bet you can guess. One wonderful thing about Hartman Rocks is that it's all crushed granite. There is very little mud up here, and so even when the conditions are wet, this makes for great riding for bikes or motorcycles. It really doesn't matter. And again, most of these trails are open to motorcycles, but I leave them for the bikes. It's kind of funny, I don't know if you know, but I used to be the co-owner and host of the Adventure Sports podcast. I love that show. It continues on with Mason Gravely. Just fantastic, fantastic show about all types of adventure sports. But sharing the trail came up several times when we would interview guests. And over time, it kind of formed a pattern. And that pattern is that the slower modes of transportation seem to get really annoyed at the faster modes of transportation. And it's not necessary. Everyone can share the trail and realize there are many different ways to celebrate nature and this beautiful trail systems that we have all over this nation. Go over this little hump. But it kind of makes sense, because when people are walking and a mountain bike comes up behind them really fast, it startles them. It's not pleasant to be startled over and over again. So people that are walking grow weary of the mountain bikes. And if you're on a bike and a motorcycle comes up behind you, again, it's startling. Beautiful valley back there. That's Sawtooth Mountain, by the way. So Josho's an incredible mountain bike trail, but I see it's closed to motorcycles. So not everything's open to the motorcycles. Same thing with skiers and snowmobiles. Whatever the faster mode of transportation is, it tends to startle the slower mode. And so it just makes perfect sense that if people get annoyed, it's because of that. So I don't mind here at Hartman's letting the mountain bikers have it. They can enjoy it. Here's a camping site. What a place to camp. Look at that valley. Up against these rocks. Not much in the way of streams here at Hartman's, though there is, which we're going to go near it. There's one which is, I believe, Beaver Creek, and I believe it starts over there on Sawtooth. works its way into the Blue Mesa Reservoir. It's not a big creek, it's more of a stream really. But that's on the western edge of Hartman. Now we're getting a view straight ahead. That's Uncompahgre, which is a 14,000 foot peak in the San Juan Mountains. Directly behind Uncompahgre is Wetterhorn, which is another glorious 14er. But you can't see it because Uncompahgre is in the way. San Juans are just beautiful mountains. And I've said in prior videos, Gunnison is surrounded on all sides by epic mountain ranges. I'll list some of them for you here. There's the San Juans, and if we go clockwise, straight there where the snow-capped peaks, that's the West Elks. When you get to the north, that's the Elk Range that's shared with Aspen. And then if you continue clockwise, you get to Fossil Ridge. Right behind Fossil Ridge is the Sawatch Range, full of 14ers. And then if you go south along the Sawatch Range, it transitions into the Sangre de Cristos, another mountain range. Gunnison is just centrally located in epic country that goes on forever and ever and ever. Makes sense. Luckily we're going a little bit south right now. But it's at this time of the day that the shadows define the terrain and the sagebrush and the rock outcroppings, and it just, some days it's absolutely magical. Absolutely magical. So here are the power lines, and this is Powerline Road. If you go left, then you go over the hill and you drop down kind of a bluff on this road. Super, super, super techy. And it drops you out on the road that goes by the edge of Hartman. So it doesn't go very far. If you go right, this direction, then it takes us where we're going. To the old quarry and Creek and Aberdeen Trail, and eventually to that mesa out in front of us. I'm just kind of making a loop around Hartman. Now, you know, these big transmission lines, they kind of break up the natural view, and so people can say that they're ugly. And I understand that. You want to see a natural view without towers and cables. But at the same time, when the sun is shining down the lines like it is right now, I don't know, it's kind of inspiring. You think about how humans have managed to harness the power of electricity and make life so much better for us all. Not just because of electricity, but because of the way that as humans manage power, we've increased the carrying capacity of the planet a lot. Made it possible that half the population didn't have to starve to death. I'd be the first to admit that in the early days of the Industrial Revolution and technology, humans were of the mindset that the earth was so big that they just couldn't hurt it, that it could absorb whatever we threw at it. We know that's not true anymore. The earth has become much, much smaller. It's a precious, precious treasure we have to take care of. So that road goes down through the valley and comes back out at the front of Hartman. You can also hang a left down there, and you come out on a road we call the Caves entrance to Hartman, and that would be the west side of Hartman. It's a lesser known way to get in to Hartman. We're going to go out that way after we get up on top of that mesa in front of us. As we continue this way, the terrain gets more and more interesting. More rocks again, and then the road gets crazy steep. wintertime, Gunnison Trails actually grooms the snow that covers these roads. And then they even have a groomer for the trails, the single track. And so if you're a cross-country skier, it's a really fun place. You can go for miles and miles and miles through these sage-covered hills in the snow, and it's just glorious. You can also enjoy a snow bike. Big fat tire mountain bikes, and they ride on the single track trails. Okay, so right where we're going now, there's a little bit of private property that's mixed in with the BLM land, but we're going to be heading down into some really cool looking terrain down in here to that South Beaver Creek bottom. Hey friends, hope you enjoyed that little mini tour of Hartman's. I wanted to point out that we skipped most of the interesting parts that you would see on a mountain bike because I was just going on the outer road. But Hartman's is a ton of fun. Most of the trails are open to both mountain bikes and motorcycles, as well as hikers, of course. And in the next episode, we get into some really interesting terrain with interesting rock features and even a balanced rock. And in that episode, I try to solve some of the world's problems. Unlike this episode, which was just a tour. Hope you enjoyed it. Hartman Rocks. Thanks for watching.